Well, Malik Monk makes history. He becomes the first player in 35 years to lead the NBA in bench points and not win Sixth Man of the Year. Okay.
Congrats.
Congratulations to Naz Reid of the Minnesota T-Wolves.
Yes.
Give him his flowers.
Yes.
The guy had a really, really good year. Means a lot to their culture. He's a good player.
This disappointment surrounding this has nothing to do with Naz Reid and what he was able to contribute to his team as a sixth man. We are allowed to debate it as two people that watch so much NBA, and then you also have numbers that back it up. It's just incredible,
Morgan, no.
people end up voting for at the end of each season.
This is what it comes down to, okay? These NBA media voters are not watching small market West Coast teams.
Watch it. Watch it.
They're not watching Sacramento.
They're
not
not
watching
up.
Portland. They're focused on, are the Lakers or Clippers watching? So, again, Malik Monk gets slept on. I don't know if you actually watch the NBA. You bounce around the league. Click on a game in Sacramento, you would have seen the impact that Malik Monk had. It's not just with the stats, but the stats pop at you too. We just mentioned the points. Morgan, he had 17 games this year with 20 plus points and 5 plus assists. Mm-hmm. That led the NBA off the bench.
Correct.
He had 25 games with 20 plus points off the bench. That led the NBA. And one of my favorite stats out there, second in assists off drives in the NBA. Not off the bench in the NBA, only behind SGA. I honestly am stunned by this in many ways. And I saw how the early voting was being leaked out on social media. I'm like, okay, Naz Reid's getting some love. I thought he would get some love. I thought Norm Powell would get some love. Bobby Portis was the other candidate.
Isn't it clear as day? Isn't it clear as day? What
he has meant for the Kings this year. And then he gets hurt and they fall apart. For those who don't watch Kings games all the time.
Which it sounds like it's a shit ton of people that have a vote.
Tell me what popped to you about Malik Monk's season. We just mentioned the stats, but the other things.
Yeah. And I mean, the other things, even if you didn't watch, if you cover the NBA, then you could go to a post-game presser and hear what teammates have to say about Malik Monk. You can go to a practice media scrum and hear what coach has to say about Malik Monk. I mean, what these people say about Malik Monk is the impact that he also makes off the floor, whether it's in the locker room, whether it's on the bench with the different type of energy, whether it's just being that vocal leader that this team needed so bad. And again, you go, a vocal leader, isn't that usually a starter? Sure, it can sometimes be a starter. Sometimes it can be a person down the bench that doesn't even play. Malik Monk was not only getting the minutes and playing and showing up on the floor every night through his actions, he was showing up with his voice. And in so many different ways was he leading this team through being vocal, through his play. And I thought that was an obvious thing. And again, I'm not one of those people that just live in this circle, this King's bubble of going like, isn't it just obvious to everyone? No, I watched these other sixth man of the year candidates and absolutely understood why they were being voted for, why they were being talked about as well. But I just truly thought there was so much evidence that it was like apparent that Malik Monk was sixth man of the year.
I thought on the floor this year, he played more controlled than last year too. I mean,
Absolutely.
He is one of the best pick and roll ball handlers in the game. And his ability to throw lobs, his two-man game with Sabonis was elite, and his ability to create. The guy hit big shots. He was attacking the rim. He got teammates involved. And on the defensive end, he showed some growth. Mike Brown was like, hey, man, we need you to start doing more defensively. You need to take some charges. All of a sudden, he's taking charges this year. I just thought his game was better than ever. I think it's a big reason why he's likely to get paid this summer. He could be starting on a different team.
Yes.
I am just kind of lost with it because I thought he did everything. There is nothing more Malik Monk could have done this season to win Sixth Man of the Year. He played all of his games off the bench. He didn't start a game. Naz Reid did start, and to his credit, filled in for Cat. I thought really helped them in that setting, especially in the starting lineup, his ability to space the floor. But I think Malik made his teammates better this year on the court. And the stats back it up. To me, it was a no-brainer. And I just think it just proves to me that the people who vote on this just don't pay attention. They just don't pay attention enough. It's not just because my guy didn't win, okay? I just watched enough of the league going, this guy's doing it all the time. He has won games for the Kings. Hell, Minnesota knows full well, too. The guy went to Minnesota, came off the bench when Fox was out, and dropped 39 on their heads.
And that's the thing. And, I mean, you want to talk about the pure six man. I mean, that's him. He remained in that role even when he belonged in the starting unit as guys kept falling. He belonged in a starting lineup in the NBA, but was so good in the energy that he can bring as a six man. And it's not even when I say as a six man, just as an NBA player. I mean, you talk about the way that he took a leap in his game with just playing with so much more discipline, right? And the way that he would play so much more under control. You talk about him in that two-man game, being able to understand when teams were making adjustments on his little pocket pass, he was making adjustments with how he was passing the basketball. Yep. I mean, there's basketball IQ behind it. There's stats behind it. There's leadership behind it. There's something so special about this man as a player. Screw even being a six man, as an NBA player, but to not get the love that he deserves. And Deuce, we've seen this with Defensive Player of the Year, people that vote, they just follow a narrative that people say online and they go with it. They're just like not watching all these games. And by the way, sometimes it feels weird being in this position covering the Sacramento Kings, obviously longtime Kings fans, and then you just sound like, what?
Yeah, for sure.
Why did Malik Monk win? But like, I mean, just go watch him play every single game, and you would have voted the right way.
On the season, he averaged 15.4 points per game, 5 assists per game, 3 rebounds per game for the Sacramento Kings. So I'm just really disappointed by the voters in this one. As far as Naz Reid goes, like we said at the top, we're not haters, okay? I acknowledge his season, and I love the energy he brings to the T-Wolves. I think he's essential in some ways. I actually think he's better as a starter. Hot take. But he wins it. So congratulations to him. Minnesota's had a great year, and Sacramento fell short. It's amazing they fell short when Malik Monk went out, too.
Oh,
so
that's interesting how that works. Yeah. And one more thing, too, just to give Naz Reid just a little bit more love, too. I mean, that's a player that I've talked about in the past that I would love to see on the Sacramento Kings, right? Like, you love the type of intensity he brings to the game, the type of activity, especially on the defensive end, the offensive end. But yeah, I think when you look at the award this year,
there was no more impactful player off the bench with his scoring, playmaking than Malik Monk. End of story.
That sucks.
Let us know in the comments below what you think. Do you disagree with us? Let us know why. Do you think Malik should have won it? Let us know why. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast